Let me start with at the top. I don't know. I'm sure you saw where Pete Prisco of CBSSports.com had a headline that said, maybe the Cardinals are going to pass on Kyler Murray, ? Why would that be out? Why would that information be out there today on Monday?
Well, there's a lot of information, quote unquote, that's out there on Monday that isn't necessarily credible information or good information because, every GM right now likes to play I Spy. They like to play, I'm going to trick you, I'm going to put some feelers out there just to kind of keep people, guessing as to what exactly it is that they're going to do because it doesn't really benefit them to have anybody knowing exactly what they want to do. And I'm sure, look, if you look at it objectively, there's a number of different reasons as to why not drafting a quarterback would make sense for them also as far as building out the rest of their football team. And besides the fact that, just a little while ago, about a year ago, they did trade up to draft a kid named Josh Rosen, who happens to be there, who happens to have played just one season behind an abysmal offensive line, but for now potentially going to go ahead and ship down the road for another quarterback. So, look, there's a number of, I'm sure that in that organization, in their draft room, in their meeting rooms right now, and at the highest levels of that organization, they're sitting there going, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to, a year removed from drafting what we thought was our franchise quarterback, going to draft another one? Well, I guess it's possible considering that they, blew a coach out of there in less than a year as well. So philosophically, I don't really know if they know what they're doing. So how can you really tell about what they're going to do at the top of the draft this year? I mean, it's a very weird, unique situation with them.
All right, what would you do and what should the Cardinals do? If you were the GM and you had the final choice, what would you do at the top of the draft?
Well, I'll tell you this. Look, if I hired Cliff Kingsbury and my owner was sitting there at the press conference to introduce him saying, did you watch him at Texas Tech? Do you remember how that offense was there? I want some of that here in the Valley. I want an offense, high-powered, prolific offense like that. That's what's exciting to me. That's where the league's going. That'll put people in the seats. That's what gets people excited. Well, then I'm going, well, okay. Well, how are we going to get – what really gives us the best chance to bring all those things that he really just described to this football team? Well, our coach has already said how much – he loves Kyler Murray, that if he would draft him number one overall previous to getting the job. Well, I think, if that's what we want, and we're really resetting this organization once again, and the coach feels very strongly that this guy gives us the best chance to bring all those things that the owner wants, then I'm drafting Kyler Murray. That's what I'm doing. Now, objectively speaking, if we hadn't changed coaches and we were just looking at this football team organically and trying to just build it, yeah, you could look at making the case for drafting one of these defensive linemen in particular and continuing to build this football team front to back and making sure we take care of the offensive defensive line. Then you'd be looking at Bosa. Then you would be looking at Quinnen Williams. Those are the kind of guys you'd be looking at because those are the kind of guys that make sense to go to in terms of trying to build this football team, objectively. But it's not like that. The only reason why Kyler is being talked about at the top of the draft is because of the unique circumstances surrounding this coach, what he has said, reading, just kind of following the breadcrumbs as far as what Michael Bidwell said at their opening press conference and why they hired Cliff Kingsbury in the first place. So it's what we would do objectively and what this team is probably going to do in the lines along with what they're thinking. They don't match up, and that's what makes it so intriguing. That's why you're going to have people saying, maybe they don't draft Kyler. And then there's people saying 99% they draft Kyler. We don't know. That's why you got to tune in on Thursday night.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.